Hi everybody, welcome to 3 on Thursday. This is Sue Sanders, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lake Ozark, Missouri. I welcome you today. These are the cards that we made last week, the 2 cards and then the little chocolate box gift card holder that we made. It just unties the bow there, and it fits in one of the little double Ghirardelli squares, and then here's the pocket for the gift card. I got my little candy bars at the Dollar Tree, so that makes a nice little gift for a friend or coworker at your office, or maybe take it to your hairdresser. So let me see if I can get this tied back up. So I just did the drawing. You do have 1 week to post a comment on the video, and then your name will go in the drawing to win these 3 projects that I made. And this week the winner is Pat. So congratulations, Pat, for winning last week's 3 on Thursday. I will get those projects to you. You don't get the candy bar. I'm sorry, it will not make it through the mail probably. And you probably don't want this one anyway because my husband was kind of mushing it around. So I want to remind everybody that today is the last day for the seasonal sale, where you can save 10% off of cardstock, 15% off of inks, and 20% off of dies. So that's a really good savings for us. Time to stock up on your cardstock. If you haven't taken advantage of this yet, I encourage you to. If you use the host code UBEC4WVY, and I'll repeat that at the end of the video, and you place a $35 or more order, I will give you as a free gift 1/4 pack of the Penguin Place DSP paper that was offered in the fall celebration brochure. So that is an extra gift from me to you for placing a $35 order. I did send out an email. Hi, Cindy. I'm glad you were able to make it this afternoon, girlfriend. All that cleaning and stuff is all over with now. I did send out an email reminding everybody, and it also does have the list of what is on sale and what the discounted price is. So most all of the paper packs are $6.37. The dies will vary in price, and the inks are $6.37, and most all of the paper packs are going to be around $7.87 to a little bit more, depending on what size paper it is. So keep that in mind. And one more thing that I just want to give you heads up on, this doesn't start until December, but this is the last chance for the mini catalog product, and I'm going to have to see if I can't get this revamped up into some larger print, because I know I can't read this, but there is going to be some of the products going to be discontinued, or discounted. But there also is going to be a carryover list. So some of the items in our mini catalog will be carried over into January, and then they will be available for sale until the new annual catalog comes out in May or June, I guess. But they will be while supplies last. So more information on that will be coming out to you in my newsletter for December. So let's get started on today's projects. I have several of them to show you. I had kind of thought that I was going to try to do a class on all of these things. However, the little penguin punch was on back order, so I didn't want to plan on doing a class if we couldn't get the materials. So I decided, okay, I've already got it planned. Let's just go ahead and do these projects for 3 on Thursday. So one thing that I want to show you, this is just a little paper craft gift. It is a candy bar holder, and you can fit 2 candy bars in this box. So if you really know somebody that likes chocolate, then two of the Hershey bars, and these have the almonds, and two of them will fit in here. This is made out of Misty Moonlight, and I used Calypso Coral, some retired ribbon, and then this is some of the paper from the Penguin Place. And I fussy cut this snowman out and made him look like he was holding that tag for Season's Greetings. So it's really easy to put together. We're not going to make that one today, but we are going to make several projects, and I hope that you enjoy them. They're just little gifts that you can give to co-workers or friends, to the mailman, to your hairdresser, something like that. And I even have a card that is can go along with this. So this is the card, and we're going to put this together. I've got everything cut out and ready to go, and I even stamped my little greeting so that we didn't have to take the time to stamp that, since there's some other things we're going to stamp today. It's a basic card, stock white at 8.5 by 5 1/4, scored at 4 1/4, and then I have a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 for the mat, and this is in Just Jade. So that's going to get laid down there. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper from that Penguin Place, and that is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. So we're going to just stick that down here real quick and make our card. And then that way you can give the card as a along with this little gift bag that I'm going to show you how I'm going to put it together for you. So, does anybody have any great big plans for this weekend? I have an all-day fall Stampin' Scrap that I have about 12 people attending. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a piece of Just Jade ribbon that measures about 7 1/4. This is a discontinued ribbon. It was last year's in color ribbon that they had, and I really liked it. I wish they still had it. It's like a cotton weave, but it's really soft, and it's nice to work with. But I thought, well, it matches the Just Jade paper. I'm going to go ahead and use it. I already have a few people in mind that I'm going to give this set of, I need to straighten that up a little bit, this set of little paper crafts to. I remember when my granddaughter was in preschool, I made her teachers all these little gifts for the entire month of December. They had like a Post-it note holder and a little desk calendar and little candy holders, and they really appreciated them. And I guess I did it through, when she went to regular elementary school, she gave her some of them to do then too. So I really kind of like this look that I seen another demonstrator do. It was kind of by chance, where you just kind of take your tag, and I've already got my sentiment stamped on there, to the coolest friend ever, and I'm just going to kind of angle cut my sentiment, and then I'm going to put it on my Just Jade layer. I said, this is really an easy set to put together. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, and you could do several of them at a time. The stuff that I used that we're going to put in these little paper craft things was all bought from the Dollar Tree. I love the Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to follow through and cut my Just Jade on an angle as well. Ditch that paper. And then on the inside of this, I have our little penguin who is sliding down a hill. So let's get him stamped real quick. And I folded this one a different way, but that's okay. make it work. So in the Penguin Place stamp set, let me show you what's included in the stamp set. It has all these little sayings. It's like a little, except a lot. To the coolest friend ever. Be cool, be chill, be merry. I like you a lot. Thanks, or lots of thanks. Happy birthday. Season's greetings. And it's got some snowflakes, reindeer antlers, the little penguin that you can punch out, a balloon, a little tie, his feet, stars, all kinds of little things that you can build your penguins with. So we're going to ink up our snowbank here, and we're going to have our little penguin sliding down our hill here. Well, it was placed, and so it's got to go. So there is our little hill. Didn't get quite over to the center, but that's okay. That's not going to be a big deal. Now we're going to take our little penguin that is sliding down on his belly. Whoops, I already got him on a block. And we're going to build him up. And I am using Memento ink for this. And you just want to make sure that you've got a really good coverage. And I'm going to kind of turn my card on an angle so that I can get his belly right there on that hill. Okay, so there's our little penguin. Clean my stamp off. Now we're going to use Calypso Coral for his little feet, or his foot, that we can see. And they do have two different feet. One is a single foot, and the other one is a double foot. So you can, and we're going to bring his little foot right there and line him up with these polymer stamps. It's so easy to build up because you can see right through them. There are two different beaks in this stamp set, and I am looking for mine. Did I not take it out? I did not take it out. One is for the penguin that's looking straight at you, and then the other one is a beak that's on the side. I gotta always look at it real close and see where the little line is for his mouth. There we go. And I'm doing this in Calypso Coral too, and we're going to line that up. There's his little beak in Calypso Coral. And now we're going to do his hat. We're going to stamp his little hat in Fresh Freesia. And this little guy will be done. Now if you want to do a little bit of more dressing it up, you can use your Wink of Stella and make him kind of shiny. We're going to put his hat right there. So there he's got his little winter hat on. We are almost done with this. I need to tell my assistant to keep me focused and on track since I have several projects to get done today. And I am going to pop up our To the Coolest Friend Ever. My drawer is going to squeak. I hate my drawer. I have got to figure out how to get it to stop squeaking. Those don't have any on. Here's my new sheet. Okay, I didn't want to mess with cutting. So here's our, we're going to add about 3 dimensionals on this so that it pops that layer up, or that saying up. Since this isn't necessarily going to be mailed, I would suggest maybe, I mean, if you wanted to mail it, you could in a little box or in a bubble envelope. I don't know what it would cost to do that, but we are going to stick our To the Coolest Friend Ever right here at the bottom. We're going to take a short piece of ribbon and we're going to tie it up here at the top in a square knot. Okay, so Pat, if you're trying to get sound, turn your computer volume up. It may have gotten turned down at some point. So turn your computer volume up, Pat, if you're, oh, well, if you don't have sound, you can't hear me now. Isn't that silly? Okay, so we're typing in that answer for you, Pat. Okay, so there our card is done. So that will be set aside and that will be sent to our recipient of our cool little bag things. All right, the next thing that we're going to make and put together real quick, and that is another candy bar wrapper. I made these years ago. I've made several different kinds of candy bar wrappers. And this was one of those things that I'd given to my grandkids' teachers, and they seemed to like him because who doesn't like chocolate, right? So I went ahead and I have stamped my penguin, and now I'm going to punch him out because I didn't want to take all the time. And if you have this set, you want to stamp your penguin upside down because that's the direction that he will go into. Your punch is upside down. So I'm just doing the best centering job here I can get. Sometimes I have more white space on one side than I do the other, but hey, it's a homemade card, and so it's all good as far as I'm concerned. So I don't, even when I get cards, I don't critique them because I know that they were made with love. Okay, so now I have my penguin punched out, and we're going to real quick, you know me and fussy cutting, guess what? I have to fussy cut his little hat, and it won't take too long because it's not that big. So how is everybody doing on their Christmas cards? You getting them about done, or have you not even started yet? I have several because I've been doing so many on my 3 on Thursdays. I think I have enough made. We're going to add a little scarf to this guy. I didn't on my first example, but we're going to add a little scarf for him, and we'll trim up this fussy cut area here, just because I thought maybe he needed a little scarf. And can you believe that they are already starting with Christmas commercials? I just was watching TV last night, and the Hershey's commercial came on for the Hershey Kisses, where sounds like they're playing bells, and it's like, seriously, we haven't even gotten through Thanksgiving yet, and they are already playing Christmas commercials. I really wish that they would let us have our day of Thanksgiving without having it all focused around Christmas and Christmas shopping and sales and all of that. Because I think that becomes we just listen to it for so long. By the time Christmas gets here, everybody's like, seriously, I am so done with this. Okay, so there is our little bits for that guy. All right, clean off this. I had everything marked. Now this piece is not my piece that I wanted. Where's my little piece that I had for? Here it is. Okay, so now I'm going to tear this piece of white piece, or this white piece of paper, to make it kind of look like it's a snowbank. So you just kind of tear it towards you in little bits, and you wind up with that. And So this is our candy bar holder itself. Getting rid of some of these little bits of paper. And this measures at 6 by 6, and then it is scored at a 1/2 inch and 3 1/4 inches. So we're going to burnish the edges for that really good. And so you'll see it's just going to fold right over like this. So we're going to place our, and I'm going to use the polka dotted piece. And I build it up before I put it together because I just find it easier than trying to glue my designer series paper after I've got my candy bar put together. Seal Plus didn't want to. I have to keep reminding myself, soft touch, because if you go too hard, I think that's when it's ripping your paper, ladies. At least that's what I have found. So I have to keep telling myself, soft touch. So this is going to lay down, and this piece is just cut for that narrow border, so it is cut at 2 1/2 by 5 3/4. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay down some sticky strip tear and tape here on our piece. It's going to actually hold our candy bar wrapper together. And I'm going to put it on the outside of this piece because that's where it's going to fold over and hit. I love tear and tape for paper craft boxes and things like this because it really does, they do hold. I mean, I've made candy bar wrappers years and years ago and they're still they're still together, so that's so you're just going to fold that over on that score line. Good. I'm glad, Pat, that you're getting better at using that Stampin' Seal. I think it really is a means of how you, the touch that you have. And the harder you press down and the faster you try to go, the more it messes up on us. The old tape runners, I know, we used to have to press down so hard on them and roll them fast and all that stuff. Now on the back of my candy bar wrapper, the paper is cut at the same size, but I'm using the opposite side. So I'm using the little side that has the little snowman, or I'm sorry, the little pumpkins, the penguins, the little fox, and the polar bear. Okay, now here comes, before I do that, I am going to take a hole punch, and I'm going to punch a hole here at the top, and I'm just kind of looking at it to center it. And you are punching through, and I may not get to punch it through that many times, so we'll try 2 layers first and then go. I don't have the strength for the 4, and I don't think I got that even, but it will still work. We are then going to take our candy bar, and I'm going to take it out of this one. Here, I'll take this one over here to show you. You're going to take your candy bar, and you're going to wrap your ribbon, and this is about, let's see, 16, a little less than 32 inches, so about 28 inches of ribbon. And you want to leave yourself plenty of ribbon. You can always cut it off, but you're going to take and wrap your ribbon around your candy bar and then slide that down inside your wrapper, okay? And just leave that set. We're going to finish decorating our front with our belly band. So now the belly band for our candy bar measures at 6.5 by 2.5. And I'm not scoring this. All I'm going to do is kind of wrap it around the candy bar. And then I'm going to put some snail plus, or not snail, Stampin' Seal Plus on the back to hold that in place. Because they don't have to remove that belly band to get their candy bar out. Say their candy bar is going to come out from the top. Okay, we're going to add our little snowbank. Oh, you know what I should have done before I did that? I messed up, ladies. Let's see if I can get this off of here without ripping it and messing it up too bad. I think I can, because it won't show. I forgot to decorate our belly band. So I'm going to lay my paper down on my silicone mat so that it doesn't stick, since I've got that seal on it already. I'm going to place my snowbank here on my Just Jade belly band. And it's going to go all the way to the bottom, and then it's going to be kind of in between where your belly band creases around. Okay, here's my little Christmas tree and my snowflakes. I'm going to take my snowflakes and I'm going to stamp them up here on the Just Jade with the fresh freesia. And I need a piece of scrap paper here. And you don't want to necessarily stamp in the same direction. You want to turn your stamp around. And this fresh freesia just gives it a little light color for your snowflakes, just to give it a little bit of cuteness. Okay. And now we're going to take our Christmas tree, and in Just Jade, we're going to stamp our trees. So we're going to stamp one at full strength, and then we're going to go right over next to it and stamp off so that it's lighter. Then we're going to stamp off and do a second one so that it kind of looks like they are in a line. So that is our decorative stamping for our belly band. Now we can place him on our candy bar wrapper. Whoops, I almost put him on the wrong side. And like I said, the belly band isn't going to come off. You don't have to take the belly band off, and you can, the recipient can put in another candy bar if they want and give it to somebody else. Okay, we are now going to take our little penguin guy, and we are going to glue on with his little hat. I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and put that on the top of his head, right here at the edge where that hat's going to hit. If I can fussy cut these things, anybody can. We're also going to take his little scarf, and we're going to put his little scarf on his neck so that he's nice and warm. I don't know about you all, but I am not ready at all. Oh, we got sirens coming down the highway. Wonder what's going on. Dorothy just told me that Silver Dollar City had a fire. Was it yesterday or today? And so because of the high winds, it hit several buildings or something. So I don't know. I'm going to have to read up on that. That's sad, because no telling what parts of the park they got hit. I think I'm going to get a little mini so I can put one up there on his cap. And I know I've got some open here. Yeah, there they are. I have them all just shoved in my drawer. I need to really organize them a little bit better. I really need to take about a week off from doing anything other than organizing, but that's not fun. So maybe during Christmas. Oh, I don't think so. That won't happen because I'll have too much fun playing with new product. All right, so now we're going to set our little penguin guy right there. I'm going to close up my ink. If you want to give him some shine, you can use your Wink of Stella to do that with. Now you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to thread it through the holes that you punched. From the front, or you're going to go from the inside to the outside of those holes. So you'll just kind of pinch your wrapper open and make sure that your ribbon is still around your candy bar. Stick it back down inside there. You can always take your wrapper lids, the little wrapper ends if you want, and say like this here, I could take a mini glue dot. Here they are. I get everything out here on my desk and then I can't remember where I've stuck it at. Take this little glue dot and seal that gold piece over so that it's not sticking up until your recipient grabs their candy bar and pulls it up. Okay, I think this is the hardest little part of trying to get it to tie up nice and pretty, because I think I've got plenty of ribbon, but I would rather have too much than not enough, because if they do untie this knot, you want them to have enough to tie it again, because of course, as card makers and such, we can tie knots and retie. But then when they pull it up, see, the whole candy bar will pull up through that using that ribbon. So that's kind of the whole idea behind that. Okay, so that's project number 2, and I'm going to clip off those long ends. There's another siren coming. I'm always curious as to what is coming down the road, the highway. Okay, we are at what time? 33 minutes? Okay. All right, this little project is a lip balm holder, and it is not difficult to make. And one of the little lip balms, again, I got this just at the dollar store, but you can buy lip balm or chapstick anywhere. So this is the way, this is the stencil that I made to show me, or my pattern to show me where I have to score and then where I have to cut out. And this is what it looks like once it's cut out. So I've already scored my little box, and I'm going to put my glasses on here so that I can follow my template. And there is 2 sides that are a 1/4 of an inch, about a 1/4 of an inch. And so that's each side here. So I'm going to start with this side over here, and I am going to cut up all the way have to get my bottom because that's the way I've got it cut here. All the way up here to the second one, but it actually gets cut all the way over here. So those all three get cut off. Okay, now this piece here also gets cut down and gets cut off. I have to look at things maybe a little bit different than other people, because if I start cutting everything all at one time, I get myself confused as far as what piece I was supposed to keep and what piece I wasn't. So now this piece gets cut, and just this little tab gets cut off. So that leaves us with this tabby here that has that extra little tab, these two tabs, which are these two right here, and then all this got cut off. And I'm going to just go in and do my angle cuts so that they will fold up nice and neat for us. I might have cut a little bit more off there, and I've got some of my score is right there. We're going to angle cut that little flap that's going to go in our box. And I like doing these little boxes, and I think people really appreciate little tiny things like this that they don't cost a whole lot of money, but yet they know that you're thinking about them. So that whole piece here gets cut off. Now I'm going to leave this piece because it's just the opposite. And then I'm going to come into the middle piece, and that piece gets cut off. As well as getting cut down to that second score line. Okay, so that's this piece. This whole section gets cut off, so we're going to cut it all off. And then this little tab gets cut off, and we're cutting that off. And we're going to go back in, and we are going to miter our corners. So, has everybody started their Christmas shopping? I really can't say that I have. I do have one or two little things that I've picked up when I was down in Branson for my grandkids, but nothing major. I think it's going to be gift cards again this year. It's what they seem to like the most. And they can buy what they want. I'm going to miter off those little corners there. Yes, just a lip gloss would fit in here too, I think, Cindy. You would have to just measure it to see. Okay, so now all it is a matter of assembling this box, which is not difficult. This is going to be the flap for the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter. We'll put it to the bottom so that our animals are facing up. So that piece, let me think here. Just have to think a minute. Here we go. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put tear and tape here, and we're just going to fold it over, and it's going to match up to make our box. So it is not hard at all. And with the designer series paper that Stampin' Up! Has this year, these make such cute things, and yet you could use just about any of the little print patterns that we have. Okay, now this one might be just a tad bit off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim it off right up here on the side, because when you lay it flat it should meet it up flush, but it didn't, so we're just going to fix that. Okay, now if you want, you can go ahead and glue your bottom of your box shut. And it looks like I need to maybe okay. And then here is where did I put my lip gloss. It will be easier to put your we want to cut off a little bit off of these tabs because they don't need to be quite so long because they're just getting folded in to the top. Come on now. You better work for me. Let's see what's going on with you. You're a little wide, aren't you? So we're going to just trim you off a little bit. Sometimes if you don't cut right on that score line, then you have that little bit of extra that it doesn't like to close up. Well, why? Let's make you a little bit more angled. Maybe that will help us. Yep, that did the trick. Okay, you want your seam in your back or in the back. In my case, it's going to be on the side, which is okay. We're going to make sure that it's not in the front. You got to trim these off a little bit. Okay, so that is the bottom of our box. This is going to be the top of our box. And there is no way. This. Well, if this is going to be the top of our box, even though our little people and animals are upside down, simply because I didn't look at it right. Okay, so now I did make a little belly band to go around here to decorate it up a little bit. And this is 3 3/4 by an inch. And I'm going to take my Christmas tree stamp that we used on our penguin card, and I'm going to take it in the Just Jade, and I am just going to, first I'm going to wrap this around because then that's going to give me where my sides are, so I will know where to stamp my Christmas trees. Okay, and the belly band can be cut down once you have it all put together. And I'm just kind of folding up my creases because I'm not scoring these. And I can tell that my paper, my belly band, is a little bit long. So I'm just going to take and trim it off a little bit. Just like so. And then I can put a tree there on the back. Okay, so now I have my sides, and I'm going to stamp my trees. Yes, Cindy, these would make cute stocking stuffers. Just a different way to give those little gifts that you want to share with people. That stuff on there, I can't see it. The tree. And one more. And again, you can take and do whatever your heart desires as far as decorating these little boxes up. You can get as fancy or as simple as you want. I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal there. And I am using the plus, so it is a little bit stronger than just the regular Stampin' Seal. And I'm taking the same ribbon that I've used for my card and my candy bar wrapper. And you can use any color ribbons. If you've got old ribbons that you've had and you want to get rid of them, this is a good project to do that with, so that you just kind of coordinate your colors whichever way you want. And I'm just tying a square knot here. For some reason, my hands just don't seem to want to be working anymore. I don't know. So let me tell you a funny story. So sending something back to Stampin' Up, and I have had the box sitting in my back room, so trying to get my knot over here to the front of the box. So I've had it sitting there since August because we weren't sure if we were going to keep the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We've been having issues with it. I was having issues with it. Dorothy had issues with it. Pat had issues with it. And I mean, I've worked and I've tried different ways to sandwich it, and I just was not happy with it. So Dorothy was going to return hers. Well, I kept the original box. There is our little box for our chapstick. Okay, we have two more little projects here that won't take us no time. I think the longest thing was just getting the stuff cut for it, getting the measurements and all. And I cannot take credit for all of these designs on this, ladies. There is a demonstrator, and I think she is in the UK, and her name is Poodles. And so several years ago, I just gone out on YouTube and looked for little paper craft gifts. Ow, ow, I have to stand up. I'm getting a cramp in my thigh. So if I let out a scream, it's because I'm in pain. So anyway, I was looking out there for different things because I've done most of these items. I mean, I've made things like this before in the past, but I didn't have my measurements. I'd lost them. So here is a little mini Post-it note holder. Now, I couldn't find the 1-inch Post-its, so I got from the Dollar General, or the Dollar Tree again, I got the 1/4 inch. So I revamped my measurements, and we are going to use, I think, we're going to use the polka dot again. We're going to lay that on the front of our Just Jade. And you could use either one of these sides of the paper. Like I said, any of our Christmas papers, you could make these sets for anybody. But I'm going to use our little, for the back piece of this, I'm going to put our polar bear so that the back piece is even decorated cute. So I'm going to put that there. And the mini Post-it bar, or the mini Post-it holder, measures at 3.5 by 2 1/8, and it is scored at 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 5/8 and 1 and 7/8, and that will give you that 1/4 inch that you need in order to put your Post-it note in and have it stuck right up to the top of your holder. That's our back, so we don't want to do that. Make sure we have it the right direction. I am going to use some tear and tape to put on the back of this so that it holds it nice and tight in our little Post-it note holder. I just see these as just, I don't know, really cute little thinking of you gifts for different people. And I could just go absolutely wild on who I gave these to. And then you want to get that just as close as you can to that score line. And of course, I was off just a tad on the edges. See how cute that folds up? Now we're going to put this little penguin on the, this is just cut out of the paper with a 1-inch circle punch, or you could use the layering circles. And he's put on a circle punch that is, it's like a 1 and 1.5 inch, And then we're going to stick him right down there to the top of that. I wouldn't pop him off of there because if you put this in your purse, he's liable to keep getting popped off. So I would definitely just glue him flat down to the top of that. Okay, I got glue all over my hands now. Sometimes I just make a mess with glue. Okay, so that is our little Post-it note holder. Now I have one more quick little project, and I'll tell you a story on this if I can find. Here it is. When I went camping this last summer and we went up to Hannibal, we stopped at a Ben Franklin's. Now I hadn't been to a Ben Franklin's in years and years and years, but I love Ben Franklin's. So they had this box. It was about this big, and it was full of emery boards, like this. I got this whole box for like 50 cents, and it's full of emery boards. And when I bought it, Dorothy said, "What are you going to do with those emery boards?" I said, "Well, I don't know, but I'm going to think of something." So I thought, well, you know what? It ain't going to take that much to make a paper emery board holder that they can carry in their purse or leave sitting on their desk, and it would match this little cute set that has the penguins on it. So this piece of paper is 5 by 1 3/4, and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch and then 1 1/4 inches, and then you're going to cut off the end little flaps like I did here, and then you're going to miter the corners, okay? And mitering your corners always gives you a better fold flat for your things. So I'm going to put just a tad bit of glue right here to hold that flap down, just like so. And then I'm going to bring this flap over, and I'm going to put glue right here. Now this is the way I cut this one for today. The first one that I made, I had it cut, or I had it scored a little bit different, but I wasn't going to recut this today. But this works just as well. You just get a little bit more sticky, that's all. But it does rub off. And if you let that glue dry, you can take your gum eraser then and get all that excess sticky off of there. Okay, I'm going to need to get me a finger bowl, I think, so that I can dip my gluey fingers in it. And I got to take a drink just a second, ladies. Okay, so once you have that glued shut, and I probably put a little bit too much glue on there because it's really sticky. This one, however, is not, but I had it folded different. I had it folded to where it was like this. So I kind of like that better. But I thought I needed to cut these, and I didn't. So anyway, but we're going to make do with this one. So I'm going to let that glue dry. I'm going to take my little 1-inch punch, which Stampin' Up! Does not have anymore, but many of us do. And I'm going to stick it in there to where the corners just kind of start in with where the circle starts. And I'm going to punch that so that it kind of makes a little U shape indent. Well, I'm going to take this piece of, I'm going to kind of make this look like a package. And I'm going to, I don't know if I want to use glue or glue dots. Let's use glue dots because they're pretty strong. And I think that they'll hold this piece of paper on there and I won't have to get so much glue on me. So we're going to put quite a few glue dots on this. And that way it'll hold it nice and secure for us. I do like these glue dots, although I like my nickname for them better than glue dots. However, some people might get grossed out. Okay. All right, and just so that all of you know, kind of, I am going to, at this time, going to postpone and put off doing our card challenge because everybody's gotten so busy making their Christmas cards and with the holidays and stuff. So we haven't really gotten any entries, and there's no point in posting things if people just they don't have time to do it. So I don't want to make anybody feel like they have to participate. So I should have put that on there before I did my first stamping, but that's okay. Now I have this little tiny package that I stamped from our stamp set. And again, I'm going to fussy cut because it is easy. It's just got straight lines. I don't have to do anything trick to it. I know you all know that Sue does not like to fussy cut, and Sue does not really like to color, but I am liking coloring now with the blends. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at it, and I know that it's the more you do it, the better you will get. So, okay, now I'm just going to lay that little package right there. Slide in my, as long as I didn't glue it shut, slide in my emery board, and see it kind of sticks out the top. I'm going to take and erase all that excess stickum. I love this eraser. It is so old. I've had this for years. I think I've had this for probably close to 15 years. I know I have because I had it when I moved back down here from when I lived up in Holt Summit. So I know it's at least 15 years old. And I think it's even probably older than that. All right. So there's that. Now let me show you all of this. I'm going to put all this stuff and get it out of my way. Give me just a second to kind of throw it in a box. We'll clean it all up when I get done because I want to show you all of the projects. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, and if you share my video, like it and share it. Also, if you go out, you can find me on my blog. And that is, my blog address is Sue Sanders, S-U, all one word. So it's Sue Sanders Stamp Up, but it's just S-U. I don't know whether Dorothy will be able to type it in the comments for you. You have to sometimes trick Facebook. For some reason, they have tagged me and they say that that address isn't good. I can't use it. It goes against their policies, and it's like, no, it doesn't. There's a lot of people that have a blog spot, so I don't understand what their thinking is, but it's whatever. I'll follow their rules, but I will go around it by putting a space between things, and then you just have to take that space out. Let me do it. Yeah, it's not going to let her do it. So it tells me that I can't paste that URL because it goes against their standards. And it's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. But anyway, she'll type it out, and when she leaves a space, just know that you have to take that space out, and it's all one word. All right, so now I am going to take, and this is a little tag, and I did use the nested dies for this, and they are discontinued, but it was a nice tag that I could use to put on my bag. So we are going to first stamp in Misty Moonlight real quick, and I think I threw Misty Moonlight in my box. We're going to stamp some snowflakes around the top. Yeah, I think maybe, let me do my trees first, because then I can always do my snowflakes in between things. So we're going to stamp our trees. I'm going to put it on a bigger block, because, oops. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stamp first generation and then stamp second generation so that it gives two different colors. So here's first generation, coming back and doing second generation. And I'm going to ink again, and I'm going to come over here to this side and stamp first generation, second generation. Okay, I need my coolest friend ever. This set has some really cute sentiments in it that are really cute for friends. Let me get this lined up here real quick. We're going to put this right down here at the... We might have to put him on an angle because I didn't leave. I guess that's where I did put him. You just want to kind of center him however you think that greeting looks good. Get it straight. My eyeballs are so crooked. And I am going to use the Calypso Coral on this. I just think these colors coordinate so wonderful. And I love this paper. It's just so fun. So to the coolest friend ever. Well, that did not turn out. So, but let me go ahead and finish it, and I'll cut another one for whoever the winner is, so that you can see. We're not even going to finish it. Here's the finished one. Yours will look like this, because that was way off. So then I do have, and you can choose just about any bag that you have. Okay, but I bought some cellophane bags from Stampin' Up, and they don't have a closure at the top. So here's my little candy bar, and here's my little nail file, and my little Post-it note holder. You can add just about anything that you'd want to. There are so many ideas out there on the internet for little simple little gifts that you can give to friends and coworkers or just about anybody. Your hairdresser, people at the grocery store. Wouldn't the cashier be surprised if you brought in one of these little sets and just said, here you go, Merry Christmas. And then, of course, our Christmas card. So you could turn your Christmas card around this way, not even put it in an envelope. Turn it that way. Now we're going to take our tag like this. We're going to just put it over the top. And then what I will do, or what I would do, is I would poke some holes and put ribbon through it. My husband's getting ready to leave for a meeting. Put some ribbon through it and make a bow. And there you have a cute little gift bag of little goodies that you can give to people. And if those corners bother you like they bother me, then I would probably take and tape them down, even them out, of course, because that would bother me if they were uneven. And then, but y'all get the idea, so I don't have to sit here and play with it. All right, because I've been being told to wrap it up. So, that is what I had for you today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will be back next week on Thursday at Thanksgiving. I am going to do a live video. I do not expect anybody to forfeit their Thanksgiving with their family. We're not doing much. My son-in-law has to work, and so we're just going to kind of fix a regular size meal and hang out. So what better way to hang out? I love to stamp. So I will still do a live on Thursday at 3 o'clock unless we're eating, but it'll be sometime Thursday. I'll let y'all know. I think I'm about Christmas carded out. So I think we're going to do something with some of our new product that I got to purchase pre-order from are Stampin' Up on stage. So until next week, everybody, I will see you later. For those that are coming to my Fall Stampin' Scrap, I will see you on Saturday. Those of you that are in my card clubs on Friday tomorrow, I will see you then. So see you later, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving if I don't see you beforehand. Bye.